Welcome to Transport Vlog. My name is Paul and with me today is Elliot from T-Sets Transport.
Hello everyone.
And we're at Mascot Station. And why are we here, Elliot?
We're checking out the brand new entrance and escalators down to the concourse.
Let's do it. But before we do, let's start with a few basics. Mascot Station is about 7 kilometres south of Sydney's CBD and is very close to the Sydney International Airport. It's on the T8 Airport and South line that runs all the way to Macarthur, and a journey from Mascot to Central takes just 9 minutes. The original entrance is on the east side of Bourke Street and this new entrance is on the west side. It provides much easier access to the restaurants, shops and apartments on Etherton Walk and the west side of Bourke Street too, and it also increases the capacity of Mascot Station as well. So Elliot, when did this new entrance open?
This entrance opened on the 21st of December 2023 last year.
Nice Christmas present. So it's pretty simple with 2 escalators, 1 lift, windows on the sides and an aircon vent on the roof.
This just here is the back of the new entrance, and over there is the current entrance which has been there since the line opened.
Okay, so we're going to start by going down the escalators. So these are the upper bank of escalators that lead to an intermediate level that is now in view. So we've got natural light coming in from the windows here. As you can see, these escalators are quite short. So now arriving at this intermediate level, and there is more to this than meets the eye. Let's have a look at what's here. So we've got, looks like rock, but it feels like something else. What do you think this feels like? Doesn't seem real, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't. Feels
No.
like almost plasticky.
Yeah. So if you know what these rough walls are made of, then do share this in the comments below. Okay, so up on the roof above, you've got these, might be aluminium battens, I'm not sure, but they do remind me of some of the Bankstown line station upgrades. But really cool is here we have a picture of a very old aircraft. And this is one of 2 old aircraft photos, another one coming up soon. Like many newer escalators, these slow down when not being used to save energy. And before we continue down, I wanted to see if Elliot had done his homework. You know that like Central, Wynyard and Town Hall are probably like the 3 busiest stations on the network. Where do you think this one is? Do you think it's in the top 20, top 40?
Well, I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if it's like up in the top 70 or so, because in peak hour times it's definitely quite busy at Mascot Station.
Viewers, what do you think? Where does this rank in terms of the busiest station in Sydney? Is it in the top 40? Is it in the top 20? Somewhere in between? Let us know in the comments and we will tell you at the end of this video. Can we continue down? So you can see we've got the battens again on the ceiling. We've got the lift shaft over there. Pretty cool. What do you think so far?
I like it. I like how they have sort of the unmodernized rock area just there, kind of showing the original rock of Mascot Station.
So again, we've got the lift entrance here. We're going to go up the lift a bit later on. And then here, this looks like some kind of World War II plane, I think. And there's a steam-hauled goods train too. I wonder if that was on the Botany line. And if you know the type of plane or steam loco, then do share this in the comments. Being so close to Sydney Airport, it's wonderful to see these historical photos, and it helps you appreciate how both plane and train travel have developed over the years. When looking up, you can see these white skylight type structures that enable you to view the ceiling battens above, and the rugged rock-like cladding that you saw earlier continues on the walls. So that is basically the new entrance, and you can now see how this leads into the existing concourse, and as we're here, we thought we'd talk about this too.
So we're now on the other side of the Opal gates. You can see the Opal gates just here, along with some extra new ones added for the new entrance.
And when approaching these gates, you can clearly see both the original escalators on the left and the new exit on the right. Behind me you've got some new toilets. So the original toilets were demolished and have been replaced with the ones that are quite common these days, the individual toilets, including a family accessible toilet. Now continuing to the platform via these rather strange stairs. So Mascot Station was one of 4 stations that opened as part of the airport link. It was constructed between 1995 and 2000. It cost 900 million and it was the single largest transport infrastructure project for the Sydney Olympics.
So how old were you then, Paul?
I was 24 years younger than I am now. Anyway, it opened in May 2000, shortly before the Olympics. So did you know that this station and the other airport stations are not actually owned by Sydney Trains?
I didn't know that.
No, so they're actually owned by the Airport Link company. So this line was built as a public-private partnership. and this company has basically operated it since then. So prior to 2011, Green Square and Mascot Stations used to have a station access fee. So they were more expensive to use than other Sydney train stations. And at that time, a one-way trip into the city cost $5.80, which was 80% more than a typical single fare for the inner Sydney area. And although not as pricey as the access fee for the domestic and international airport stations, it was still enough to put some people off using Green Square and Mascot Stations.
In 2011, the station access fee was scrapped, and after just a few weeks, the patronage for the station went up just because the price was lowered.
How old were you in 2011?
Ooh, toddler.
And then from 2015 to 2019, patronage went up by a staggering 117%. And that was causing this station to become quite congested. So the new entrance addresses this by increasing capacity into and out of the station.
Did you know that that A over there actually means it's headed for the airport?
I certainly hadn't noticed that. Had you? Let us know in the comments. So now back on the concourse, and there is something within the new bit still to do. What is quicker, the escalators or the lift? We're about to find out. Are you ready, Elliot?
Sure am.
Go! It's off to a good start. The door opens straight away for me, which is great.
I'm going to beat that man, not knowing that he's going to lose. I hope. Almost there.
Let's see if I can see Elliot on the escalators. I think I've got this one.
Got ya.
I really don't know who won that.
I'd say it was a draw.
Yeah, I think it was a draw. I think we'll shake on a draw.
Yeah, draw.
So what was it like coming up the escalators?
I did have to do a bit of walking to catch up with you, but
Yeah.
I would say that the lift is a little bit quicker than the escalators if
Yeah.
you were just standing on the escalators.
And I was really lucky because the lift literally came straight away. So if I'd had to wait for the lift to come down, then you would have definitely won.
Yeah.
Yeah. So were you running or just walking?
Kind of speed walking and
Speed
standing
walking.
a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Oh, so you were trying to give me a bit of a chance then.
Yeah. I started, I'm like, oh, I'll give him a little bit of chance, and I realised, oh, he's going fast, I'm going to head up.
You know, you've got to give the old person a bit of a chance. You know?
Yeah.
So did you know, Elliot, that other people benefit from this new entrance besides rail passengers?
No?
Because this road here, Bourke Street, that pedestrian crossing that's behind us, was constantly being used by people getting from this side of Bourke Street over to the original entrance. So it was actually causing quite a lot of traffic chaos in the morning peak especially. So this new entrance is benefiting other road users as well as rail passengers. So now wandering over to the east side of Bourke Street, and before we show you the original entrance, there is a building nearby that is in need of some love. Okay, so behind us is the Mascot Towers. Now these hit the news in 2019 when they were evacuated after cracks were found in the car park. But you've seen some cracks elsewhere as well, haven't you?
Yes, just from here you can actually see a huge crack in one of the supports on the balconies.
There's 131 apartments in this building, and as far as I know, they still haven't received compensation, but I think things might happen in 2024, so this year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to these apartments. The Mascot Towers were completed in 2009, so when they were evacuated in 2019, they were only 10 years old. How old were you in 2019?
Would have been about 10 years old.
Okay. And apparently you're from this area.
Yes, I was. I was born and raised here in Mascot.
Wow, okay.
So I guess you can call me a Mascot local.
You're a Mascot local, there we go. Elliot is also a public transport YouTuber who has a knack of getting into special places such as maintenance depots and control centres. He's also been a guard for the day, and in his latest video, now appearing on the top right, he travelled on one of the two highly sophisticated track inspection vehicles. So do go and check that out. Now back to Mascot Station, and the original entrance is just to the right of the pedestrian crossing and is very visible from the street. It looks very different from the new entrance with these metal supports along with bolts or rivets that are holding the roof structure in place. Interestingly, the use of glass to bring in lots of natural light was just as much a thing back in the late 90s as it is now. It was also common practice back then to include stairs as well as escalators, and by this time all new stations had to have lifts as well. These two escalators are quite short and go to an upper concourse level. Here is another view of the glass walls and now the white panels that help reflect some of the natural daylight going into this entrance. Now approaching this upper concourse level, and from here passengers walk to the other end to access the escalators and stairs to the concourse below. The lift from Bourke Street comes out here too and then continues to the concourse below. And from the glass balustrades you can see down into the concourse below, which is rather cool. Anyway, this upper level seemed like a good place to discuss the More Trains More Services programme and how it will benefit the T8 airport line.
So on the airport line, in a few years' time, train services will be increased by 80%, meaning a train every 3 to 4 minutes in the peak.
So it'll be literally like a Sydney Metro style turn up and go service. This can't happen until after the Bankstown line has been converted to Sydney Metro, because these trains will need to use the paths that are currently used by the T3, and also the Waratah trains that will be displaced will be used on this as well. So now leaving the upper level and coming down one of the original escalators to return to the concourse. Again, there is a set of stairs running alongside, and you can now see these on the left. The opal gates are now in view, along with the toilet block behind, and on either side of this are the lifts to the platforms. But we won't be using the lifts, as we want to have some more fun on the stairs. So you've done some homework now, haven't you?
Yes,
So
I have.
in terms of the busiest stations on the Sydney Trains network, where does Mascot sit?
Mascot sits as the 35th busiest station on the Sydney Trains network.
Okay, so that's the new entrance at Mascot Station. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, give it a thumbs up, please leave a comment below and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And also check out Elliot's channel.
Yes, you can check out my channel T-Sets Transport on YouTube. I'm sure Paul will link it somewhere in the top right of the screen or in the description below. I do videos weekly, unlike Paul, and you can check it out there.
All right, thanks for that, Elliot. Bye.
See you, Paul.
See ya.
The next train to arrive on platform 2 goes to Macarthur via Airport Station.